This is Ben Lister here, welcoming you to another podcast. Today's podcast is from the archives with Radio Humberside's very own Fiona Mills, so here it is. Hello and welcome to another podcast. Here for episode 8 we have had guests such as Sean McAllister, Peter Levy, Chris Hees and many more, but today we have a very special guest from the Emerald Island, a personal friend to Matthew's of Miss Fiona Mills. She is a radio broadcaster on BBC Radio Humberside and Hull Kingston Radio, and it's Miss Fiona Mills. Hello Fiona!
Hello, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good, delighted to be here and to finally meet you, very exciting.
Yes, nice to meet you as well. First question, How did you get into radio presenting?
I got into radio presenting by following my husband into a radio studio one day because I was very bored and I wanted to see what he was doing. So I went in and I spoke on air and they decided that I had a good radio voice. So they offered me my own show on a community radio station. And my husband worked in radio for years on Viking FM and KCFM. So he trained me up and I worked for a few years on community radio and then I went to the BBC.
And that's obviously Pete Mills.
That's Pete Mills, yes. Pete Mills from Hull Kingston Radio.
Yes.
So yeah, I do a kind of recorded show there, The Late Night Love Affair, but all my live programming is done on BBC Humberside.
And I'm an avid listener.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's always good to hear.
Yeah. Who are some of your favourite guests you've had on Radio Humberside?
Oh, let me think. Some of my favourite guests. Well, Carl's been one of them. Carl who works here, I think. He's been
Our
great.
colleague, yes.
Yeah. Some of my guests who come in on a Wednesday night, Wolfie O'Hare is very good. And Pam Davies, who's the CEO of Age UK. And I'm trying to think, most of the guests I get on my show are all my favourites. So I'm very lucky because I like them all. But I think one guest in particular was very, very good, and that might be my colleague Cheryl Wilkinson. She's very, very good, and she was so good as a guest that she now presents with me on a Wednesday night.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. How did you find the stories for your Radio Humberside show?
Well, for Unheard and Uncensored on a Wednesday night, we usually talk about topics. We have a meeting. Phil White, who's a very well-known presenter here, he's the producer of the evening shows on BBC Radio Humberside. Wow. So we sit and we have a meeting and we decide what kind of topics we're going to discuss, because we always like to discuss topics that aren't usually discussed on radio. And we just run through a list of things that we haven't spoken about. Perhaps it's autism, perhaps it's something for gay pride, perhaps it's something for addiction, anything like that. Yeah. And we'll say, right, well, we'll do this and we'll invite some guests in and we'll talk about it.
Yes. How do you prepare for an interview?
How do I prepare for an interview? Ooh, that's a difficult one. I think you have to do a bit of research about the person before they come in, and then think about what kind of information you want from them. So I kind of sit down and think, well, what do I want to know from this person? What information do I want to get out of them? And I only have a limited amount of time to do that. So I kind of structure my questions pretty much like you do, getting to know them, asking them their interests, and then we have a very relaxed chat, and you find that people open up more once you chat with them.
Yeah, that is brilliant, because you get to know the person.
Yeah, you do.
And get to know them on air and get the story and paint a picture for the viewers who are on the radio.
That's right. Radio's all theatre of the mind, isn't it?
Because I used to listen to Terry Wogan, who's a fellow country person.
That's right, Terry Wogan, yeah.
Sir Terry.
Yeah.
And I always used to envision him in a radio studio when I was listening to him.
Yeah, he was wonderful, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Lovely warm voice.
Yeah. How do you juggle having multiple radio shows?
Well, I have a show on a Sunday and a show on a Wednesday on BBC Radio Humberside, and I have a couple of cover shows sometimes when presenters are off ill or off on holidays. So we work with different producers, but at Radio Humberside it's a very supportive atmosphere, so we get to know everyone. My colleagues are lovely, and we all work together to make sure that what we're putting out on air is always fun and interesting, we hope.
Team spirit.
Teamwork is so important. You can't have an ego in radio if you want to do well.
Yeah, it's a bit like Matthew's Hub here. It's all a team spirit work.
Yeah,
and that's right. That's the environment I like.
Yeah, because somebody will be really good at something and another person will be even better at doing something that you're not great
Yes.
at, and all together you make a really kind of good program or good product.
Yeah, it's all about the end product.
It is.
Do you go out on any outside broadcasts? Do you prefer working in studio or outside?
Ooh, these questions are very good. I do like going outside. We did Race for Life at the weekend on Sunday, and I did the Veterans Weekend in Cleethorpes as well. And that's always fun because I get out and about and I get to meet people, and I'm very fortunate in that people will come up to me and say hello, and I get to know them, and they say, you know, that they like listening or whatever, and it's lovely to be able to put a kind of face to a voice, because if you've been speaking to them on the phone or whatever, you don't know like really who they are or what they look like. So it's lovely to meet people. I think I like being outside, out and about.
Yeah, because I'm an aspiring broadcaster as well, and I like to be outside meeting the people that matter, getting the stories that matter.
I know, I think I should be frightened. I don't know if my job is safe talking to you now. You'll have my job soon enough.
We don't know about that just yet. I'm just happy working here as a podcaster at Matthews Hub for now.
Are you enjoying your podcast? I've listened to some of them. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
How was your haunted house visit on De Grey Street in Hull?
Oh, gosh. That was very funny because myself and Cheryl were frightened before we even went in. And the whole house was dark. And there was, I found out later there was electricity. I just don't know why he didn't turn the lights on. So we were trying to kind of find our way around in the dark, which is a tricky thing to do. And a spider landed on me, so that freaked me out immediately. And then, of course, everything that happened, every door that creaked, we would jump, and every little movement scared us. But actually, we didn't really see anything ghostly. I think we saw a crib move slightly, but we don't know if that was like a breeze or not. But it was a fun visit.
When you say turning the lights off, he was just trying to get you intense in the moment.
I think he might have been, and it worked as well.
Yeah. Who are some of your favourite radio presenters?
Well, you mentioned Terry Wogan. He's one of my very favourites. And I like, let me think, female radio presenters. I like Gloria Honeyford from here. And I love BBC Radio Humberside. I love Carl Wheatley, and I love Lizzie Rose, and I love Phil White presenting as well. So actually I have a huge collection and selection of people that I love presenting.
Some
on
of
radio.
your colleagues.
Yeah, luckily enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
But my very, very favourite is Terry Wogan.
Mine too.
Yeah, he's great.
Brilliant, one of the best.
He was.
What skills and qualifications do you need to be a presenter?
I don't think you need any qualifications. I think you just need skills of listening and talking and being a kind of personable person. And I think if you can talk to people and if you can listen, and when you go on air, you're confident, that's all you need.
What advice would you give to someone hoping to get into radio and television presenting?
Start off in community radio or hospital radio. Community radio if you can, because you'll learn all the training you need there and all the skills you need. And you'll learn how to be able to work the desks there and all the kind of equipment, and then they'll teach you the skills of actually being on air. And they're so important to you because that means then that you're ready to go on to commercial or professional radio, and you have all that training which will always stand you in good stead.
Yep. Fiona, thank you very much, and that is a wrap. My interview with Fiona Mills. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it filled a gap in your time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My next upload will be with radio's very own Darren Leatham. So I'll see you then. That's a wrap.